Reggae didn't just start with Bob Marley. It was born from a rich mix of sounds: ska, rocksteady, mento, dub. Each one added a layer to what would become the powerful voice of Jamaica. This isn't just about music, it's about resistance, culture, love, and identity. From the upbeat horns of ska to the raw energy of dancehall, every beat tells a story. In this video, we're taking you on a journey through time, rhythm, and rebellion to show how reggae music evolved. We'll explore how ska gave birth to rocksteady, how reggae became the anthem of Rastafari, and how dancehall flipped the script and took the world stage. Whether you're a reggae lover, a music history fan, or someone who just vibes to the rhythm, this is for you. So get ready, because this is the evolution of reggae music, from ska to dancehall. Let's rewind to the late 1950s, in the heart of Kingston, Jamaica. The air is hot, the streets are alive, and a brand new sound is bouncing out of speakers and sound systems. Ska. Ska was Jamaica's first true musical identity. It came straight out of the dance halls, blending American jazz and R&B with homegrown mento and Caribbean rhythm. Picture it: jazzy horns, piano riffs, that chop-chop guitar offbeat, and a tempo that made people move, fast, vibrant, and full of joy. At the heart of this new sound were the Skatalites, a group of master musicians who basically defined the genre. And then there was Prince Buster, the producer and singer who took ska to the next level. Ska wasn't just music, it was an energy. It was the soundtrack to a generation coming out of colonialism, full of pride, pain, and purpose. It also gave rise to the rude boy era, young rebels in sharp suits and pork pie hats. The dance hall wasn't just a party, it was a statement. Ska became their anthem. These youths were often poor, rebellious, and angry at the system, and ska was loud, fast, and fearless, just like them. By the mid-60s, ska had swept across the island, inspiring dance styles like the skank and building the foundation for what was coming next. The sound was about to slow down and turn into something deeper, something called rocksteady. By the mid-1960s, Jamaica was catching its breath. The beat slowed down, the horns took a back seat, and the rhythm got deeper. That's when rocksteady stepped in. If ska was the party, rocksteady was the slow dance after. It brought a more soulful, emotional vibe to Jamaican music, and it hit differently. The tempo dropped, the bass got heavier, harmonies took the spotlight. This was music to feel, not just to move to. Groups like the Paragons, the Heptones, and solo artists like the legendary Alton Ellis led the way. Alton Ellis, known as the godfather of rocksteady, sang about love, heartbreak, and the struggles of everyday life. His music gave a voice to those quietly hurting in a changing Jamaica. While ska was fast and defiant, rocksteady was intimate and honest. The lyrics shifted from dance floor fun to real talk, touching on love, heartbreak, and even social issues. And as the rude boy culture grew more dangerous, rocksteady's smoother sound was like a calming force. But underneath, the tension was still there, waiting to evolve into something even more powerful. Rocksteady didn't last long, just a couple of years. But its impact was massive. It laid the foundation for reggae: deeper rhythms, conscious lyrics, and soul with purpose. As the 1960s came to a close, Jamaica's music transformed again. The beat slowed even more, the lyrics got deeper, and a powerful new sound emerged: reggae. Reggae introduced the one-drop rhythm, where the snare hits on the third beat, giving it that swaying, hypnotic feel. The sound was earthier, heavier, and it carried a message. Reggae didn't just entertain, it educated. Lyrics became a tool for resistance, storytelling, and healing. Songs spoke about poverty, injustice, colonialism, and African pride. The music became deeply connected to Rastafarianism, a spiritual and cultural movement that honored Haile Selassie, called out Babylon, oppression, and preached unity and repatriation to Africa. And at the center of it all was one man who took reggae global: Bob Marley. Bob Marley, along with Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer, formed the Wailers. Their music blended rebel spirit with spiritual truth. Peter Tosh didn't sugarcoat anything. He called out politicians and demanded justice. Burning Spear brought haunting chants and revolutionary vibes. Reggae was now a movement. Through reggae, Jamaica gave the world messages of struggle, resistance, and redemption. It wasn't just about rhythm. It was about freedom and consciousness. By the 1970s, reggae crossed oceans to the UK, the US, Africa, and beyond. The world started listening. Reggae became the voice of the oppressed, a call for justice, and a symbol of African identity. This was more than music. Reggae was a cultural revolution. By the late 1970s, something new bubbled out of Jamaica's studios and street corners. A version of reggae that felt like it came from another dimension. Dub. Dub was born when creative producers like King Tubby and Lee Scratch Perry started remixing reggae tracks. But they didn't just remix, they transformed. They stripped out vocals, cranked up the bass and drums, then added layers of echo, reverb, and spacey sound effects. The result? A hypnotic, otherworldly vibe that hit your chest and your mind. Dub wasn't just a sound, it was a science. And it gave rise to a new kind of performer, the DJ, or toaster. Toasting meant talking, chanting, or rhyming over dub rhythms. This wasn't singing, it was lyrical style, and it laid the groundwork for hip-hop and modern dancehall. Then came the sound systems, massive mobile speaker setups that ruled the Jamaican streets. Crews would roll into communities, set up their gear, and blast music deep into the night. These weren't just parties, they were battles. Known as sound clashes, rival crews would go speaker for speaker, beat for beat, trying to win over the crowd with the heaviest bass and the sharpest lyrics. Sound system culture became the heartbeat of the streets, giving rise to legends, not just producers, but selectors and DJs who commanded the crowd like generals. Without dub and sound systems, there'd be no dancehall, no hip-hop, no remix culture. It was Jamaica's underground innovation, raw, rebellious, and ahead of its time. By the late 1970s into the 80s, the Jamaican sound was shifting again, this time into something bolder, louder, and digitally charged. This was the birth of dancehall. The game changer, a beat called Sleng Teng, one of the first fully digital rhythms created on a tiny Casio keyboard. It changed the entire music scene overnight. With digital instruments came faster rhythms, grittier sounds, and a whole new energy. Dancehall moved away from the deep roots of reggae and into the streets, the parties, and the dance floors. Where reggae was spiritual and conscious, dancehall was about vibes, attitude, and real-life commentary. It talked about poverty, relationships, street hustle. Sometimes raw, sometimes playful, always bold. And at the center of this wave were DJs, not singers, but lyrical warriors. They talked, chanted, clashed, and controlled the crowd. Yellowman, Jamaica's first dancehall superstar, proved you didn't need to sing sweet melodies to make history. He was witty, sharp, and had the stage presence of 10 men. Then came icons like Shabba Ranks, with his deep voice and raw lyrics. And Beanie Man, the self-proclaimed king of dancehall, known for his rapid-fire delivery and charisma. Dancehall wasn't just music. It was a lifestyle with its own slang, fashion, and rules. It brought us clash culture, lyrical battles between artists, often live, where quick wit and crowd control meant everything. One mic, one rhythm, and one chance to shell down the place. Dancehall also influenced global genres, from hip-hop to reggaeton. And it gave rise to some of Jamaica's most iconic cultural exports, not just in music, but in style and swagger. From the streets of Kingston to clubs around the world, dancehall became the new voice of Jamaican youth, fast, fearless, and always moving forward. By the 2000s, dancehall wasn't just Jamaican anymore. It was global, and it kept evolving. Today's dancehall blends with pop, hip-hop, and even Afrobeats, creating fresh sounds that cross borders and dominate charts. Artists like Vybz Kartel took lyrical storytelling to a whole new level, raw, clever, controversial, and wildly popular. Then there's Popcaan, the unruly boss, With his emotional delivery and international collabs, he's pushed dancehall deeper into the global scene. And you can't talk about modern dancehall without Spice, queen of the genre, known for her bold lyrics, fashion, and fierce presence. But it's not just Jamaican artists carrying the torch. Global superstars like Drake, Rihanna, Beyoncé, and Major Lazer have all tapped into dancehall's sound, bringing yard vibes to the world stage. Even artists like Sean Paul helped open the door, fusing dancehall with club beats and making it mainstream in the early 2000s. Today, dancehall remains the heartbeat of Jamaican youth culture. It's in the language, the dance moves, the fashion, the attitude. From the sound systems of the 80s to TikTok trends today, dancehall continues to evolve, inspire, and represent the unapologetic spirit of Jamaica. Reggae isn't just music, it's Jamaica's soul. A voice born from struggle, pride, and rhythm, passed down through ska, rocksteady, roots reggae, dub, and dancehall. From the upbeat horns of ska to the heavy bass of dub to the raw energy of dancehall, this music has carried stories of freedom, identity, and resistance for generations. And even as sounds change, the heartbeat of reggae stays the same. Jamaica's heart still beats through the rhythm. As Bob Marley once said, "When music hits, you feel no pain." This is more than history. This is the spirit of a people, still echoing through speakers around the world.